taqwa, if I remember the Hebrew, basically means life-giving or life.
All right.
So these are symbolic names, and I think many people, especially the great religious folk and the patriarchs and the spiritual people who wrote the books of the Bible, under whatever inspiration was between them and God, would be horrified to believe that we are reading these things literally, when the ancient world, and not just the biblical ancient world, but the classical world, was obsessed with metaphor and allegory and different levels of meaning in what they were writing. You know, it's like an onion. I think they'd be pretty appalled if we were only looking at the skin. We're expected to peel deeper and deeper and deeper to find those different levels of meaning.
Well, then, if I understand what you're telling me, you feel that present-day intellectuals should have the right to question and maybe discount some of what is printed in the Bibles that are in use today. Are you saying
absolutely.
that? All right, well, then let me just say then the difference between your position and ours as secular humanists is that we question all of it, and you question parts of it.
I'm not sure question is the right word. Let me explain it like this. Say the Mona Lisa, for example. It's a wonderful portrait. Exquisitely beautiful, and it tells us pretty much all we need to know about the physical appearance and the spirit of the person who was being portrayed.
All you have to do is look at it. You don't have to have an explanation.
No, but if you start looking at the individual brushstrokes which go to make up that painting, some of them are vital, some of them less vital, some of them are beautiful in themselves, some of them are underpainting. Now, you could portray Scripture in a very similar way. It goes as a whole to portray an exquisitely beautiful image of the God which we're seeking. The individual brushstrokes are less or more vital to that image. The Gospels may be the face of the Mona Lisa.
Who has the authority to say, all right, you can discount this and this and this, but you
quite the word.
Well, I don't know. I'll let you supply your own word, but to say you can pick and choose, who can give the authority to do that?
I would say that every individual, in the light of their own relationship with God, has not just the right, but the duty to interpret the Bible according to that relationship with God, according to reason, according to continuing revelation as they see it, according to historical, critical perspectives on the Bible. All these different things must feed into it.
So specifically, the part, right now we are talking about those things in the Old Testament which speak disfavorably about homosexuality, and you're saying that these should be I use the word discounted, whatever word. Well,
I'm not sure discounted is the right word.
You're not accepting them.
I'm not accepting them as they have been literally presented by modern-day fundamentalists.
Well, as they are in the text of the Bible.
I accept them in context.
All right.
So, for example, the famous piece in Leviticus 18 and 20, man shall not lie with man as with a woman, and the use of the word abomination. Well, we all know what abomination means, don't we? Well, we don't all know what abomination
I think they're talking about a sin.
Well, the Hebrew word abomination is, the exact Hebrew is tobah. That's it, tobah. Well, in English, this signifies something wicked and disgusting and depraved and appalling, you know.
Right.
It's much less strong a word in Hebrew. I think the equivalent would be taboo, effectively, or something which is religiously not allowed. So take Catholicism, for example, and my own Anglo-Catholic Episcopalian background.
All right.
If we were to drop the consecrated host, we would throw up our arms in horror, and it would have to be consumed from wherever it fell. And if we were to spill the consecrated wine on the carpet, I was taught at seminary that a square of carpet is removed and burned.
And is that in the Bible itself, or that's just someone's later?
Well, it's in the formularies of the Anglo-Catholic wing of the Church of England that's what you must do.
I hear what you're saying, but the authority is the written Bible, is it not?
Well, the authority is also tradition. So
Okay.
what we're looking at in Leviticus is the Hebraic tradition. It's the holiness code, which was, Leviticus means of the Levites. The Levites were the priestly sect of the Hebrew nation. The ones who were responsible for the ritual at the temple, for example. And a whole load of rules applied to the Levites that didn't apply to everyone else.
All right.
And the word abomination is also used to describe, in Proverbs, a haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. It's also referred to eating seafood that lacks fins and scales, certain birds of prey, including bats, all insects. So, for example, John the Baptist, locusts and wild honey. Well, that was an abomination.
We're
Locusts
eating
are
grasshoppers
insects.
today.
Well, indeed. And down in southern Louisiana, I have grave misgivings for any fundamentalists who eat crawfish, because it's an abomination.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the end of this program, and
Are we
and we have a
already?
lot we
Goodness
need to
gracious.
talk about. So we'll do another show.
Okay.
But you got a minute or more to, if there's something specifically you want to say about homosexuality and the Bible.
Absolutely.
Take a minute or so and do that.
We are a Christian church. That's Christian, not Pauline or Levitical or anything else. And therefore Christ is the lens, effectively, through which we have to examine Scripture and our lives. The person of Christ. And Christ's message is unashamedly and unmistakably one of almost promiscuous inclusion and love for the other and the outsider, whether that be the prostitute, the woman at the well, any of these figures, the centurion and the centurion's servant, who was also an outsider. I think the message of Christ has to take precedence over the minutiae of Jewish ritual from the book of Leviticus, or Paul's opinions, because Paul was also very liberal on the subject of slavery.
And so the people with MCC hold your position. How about
Some of them?
It sounds like
They're allowed to hold a different position.
Are there other mainstream churches that may hold that position?
UCC, the United
Okay.
Church of Christ, springs to mind.
All I can say is, Reverend Crawshaw, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome.
It's been an interesting time. We will have some further conversation with
My
you
pleasure.
and see which areas we may be in accord with you on. And I want to thank you folks who are watching our show. Hope to see you again another time.